looking. Finds Rose. Rose trying to get open. Fires away. Bang! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer!
2015 Bulls. The 2014-15 Bulls were the closest Bulls to win a championship since the Jordan era. Yes, even over that 2011 MVP Rose team. And that's because this version of the Bulls had something that the 2011 team didn't have, which is star power. Besides D Rose, of course. At this point of his career, Noah just came out of his best season, which was in 2013-14, where he won Defensive Player of the Year, he was an All-Star, and was All-NBA First Team. He also finished 4th in MVP voting, if you didn't know that. Then you have D Rose. Of course, not an MVP anymore, not an All-Star, but he was still a good scorer, and was a borderline All-Star. And of course, his backcourt teammate, Jimmy G. Buckets, who had just won Most Improved, was All-Defensive Second Team, and an All-Star for the first time in his career. But don't forget about the X Factor, senior citizen Pau Gasol, who actually started in the All-Star game, despite being 34, and actually was on the All-NBA second team that year. And you have the GOAT Mike Dunleavy, the LeBron James of this team. He averaged 34 points, 19 rebounds, 17 assists. Now I'm playing. I just remember when he pissed off Giannis and got tackled. Oof. Damn, Bulls are up by 30. I wonder how much they won by. Let me check real quick. God damn. Who got a calculator? When the playoffs finally came around, I felt really confident as a Bulls fan. The Bulls had finished 50-32, which was good enough to snag the 3rd seed in the East. And also, for some context, this was the year where Atlanta won 60 games. And it was also LeBron's first year back in Cleveland, when they traded for Kevin Love. Anyways, the Bulls had finished 11th in offensive rating and defensive rating. They held their opponents to the 9th fewest points in the league. They're 5th in blocks and 3rd in total rebounds. It's pretty easy to have rebounds though when you have Gasol, Noah, and Gibson. And the Bulls' first round matchup was the Bucks with baby Giannis. I remember thinking the Bulls had it in 5, maybe a sweep, but I was saying 5 just to be nice. But I was watching NBA TV, and the starters, that bunk show. I think 2 of them said the Bucks were gonna win in 6 or 5. And I was like, bruh. But anyways, the Bulls ended up beating them in 6 games very convincingly. And LeBron was next.
1.5 remaining. James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer.
Why are you crying?
Wow, that sucked to see. Honestly, I haven't seen that clip in a few years because it hurts me too much emotionally. And I remember that year my parents had some crappy cable, so I had to go to my grandma's house every time to watch a Bulls game. But I actually didn't finish watching this game live because I had gone out with my parents. So I asked my dad to put it on the radio, and he did. And that's when I heard the horrors. LeBron James meto el basket way. And I was like, what? And then they're making sure that he got it off in time, and I was listening, and then he got it off in time. And I was just so upset because I knew this would be the turning point of the series. I know how good LeBron is. And also, Gasol had gotten injured, I believe, the game before this, where D Rose hit the game winner. So, it was a GG. But I noticed something during the game that really grinded my ears, and it should be talked about a lot more. I don't know why the sound is working, so I'm just gonna explain the incident myself. So it's game 4. D Rose has the ball. Give me that L1! I think, as you can see right here, highlighted right here, David Blatt called a timeout when he no longer has a timeout. And that's a technical foul. What does that say? It says, request for a timeout in the excess of the authorized number of combined regular and 20-second timeouts shall be granted, and a technical foul shall be assessed, and the ball will be awarded to the opposing team. So just imagine that. Bulls. The game was tied, I believe. Bulls get the ball back. 2 free throws. Just like that, Bulls up 3-1. But no, they don't see that happening. And the league does nothing about it. Nothing to address that incident. So, the series gets tied. Gasol's out the last 2 games of the series, and Cavs win. And I wish this would be talked about a lot more, because it's just really disappointing that a whole game ended because of that. That cost us the game. Now I'ma cry. The year before this was when I started watching the Bulls almost every day. So I guess you could say I grew up with this team. And it was fun seeing them play. I wish we had a ring, obviously, but it's all good. And yes, I'm still a Bulls fan. Unlike most bunk Bulls fans nowadays. They probably think Bulls still have Rose or something. But that's it. David Blatt. Fuck!